who or what influenced you the most in who you become today and how so? So who or what influenced you the most in
Hmm.
who you've become today and how they
Well,
influence?
I mean, it's really hard to answer. It can't just be one person, but
Oh, it can be
I
couple.
think
It can be
it could be
couple.
a couple. But
Yeah.
I think there was, I would say, a few influential people.
Mm.
One is my father. Early on in my young entrepreneurial life, I knew early on I wanted to make money
Mm.
and be able to buy the things that I want. And when I was in middle school, right before, yeah, I think I was probably around like maybe seventh, eighth grade. I told my dad, I said, hey, I can make money cutting grass. So he told me, son, all right, let's go to the PX. And my dad was in the military, so you have access to this store called the PX and you don't pay taxes and stuff on it, on your products that you purchase.
I
So
see.
we go there and we see there's this lawnmower, and there's one lawnmower that was a pull lawnmower. I was like, ooh, that's kind of expensive. But there was one that was a little cheaper. It was a red one, and it was a push lawnmower, which meant you got to exert more energy to push this thing. And I remember thinking, like, man, my dad's gonna buy this. I don't want to have him buy the most expensive one, so I got the cheaper one, the one that was a, I thought it was a workhorse. In actuality, I was actually the horse. So we purchased this, and I'm thinking to myself, like, man, that was really nice of my dad to buy this lawnmower for me. Fast forward, I'm ready to, start cutting grass, and obviously I got to cut my grass first, since that was my responsibility in my home. And my dad pulled me to the side and said, "Son, I bought this, but you know what? That what I bought, what I gave you was a loan. You got to pay me back." Every penny that you spent for that lawnmower. And I remember thinking to myself, like, what the heck? Like, it can't just be given to me. And that laid the foundation to begin thinking
Wow.
through, like, how can I begin working for myself and knowing that nothing as an entrepreneur will be handed to you. You got to work for every penny, every consumer, every experience that you could possibly um, create. So, long story short, for that one, I was able to cut grass throughout my entire neighborhood. I was charging $15, which seemed like highway robbery today. And I wish I would have probably got the lawnmower that was a self pull. You like pull down the clamps and it like help pull. Because
Uh-huh.
pushing through tall grass in Georgia in the summer months was not fun at all. Yeah.
Wow. That is a great story.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Do you have any other like thing that influenced you as well after that?
I would say mentors, like having mentors. I've always been a big fan of having an advisory board of people that don't think necessarily like the way you may perceive the world, because
Mm.
everyone lives reality based off their perception of reality, right? Through their lived experience.
Yeah.
And having mentors and a group of advisors to help you think through and problem solve life decisions and opportunities and things that I may not be considering. So having mentors,
Mm.
advisors, and eventually advocates,
Yeah.
um, I think is really important to have. So, and I know that wasn't a person, but there was multiple people who filled that role in my life.
Gotcha. Is there a particular consistent role that they fill for you?
I would say professionally,
Mm.
as well as helping me manage perception. That was a challenge for me early on where I wanted to be my authentic self. You can be your authentic self, but perception is reality in the workspace,
Mm.
and you have to manage that accordingly.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
Awesome. Next question. What is your favorite childhood memories? It's gonna give you a little moment to think about
Oh my gosh. Okay.
what is your favorite childhood memories? Paint us the picture of that moment. Like who's involved, what's the feeling, what's the environment. And I know
Favorite
you probably
childhood.
have like a couple of them, but what's like you don't overthink it. Just like what pops up in your mind when you think about your childhood that make you feel like, oh, I'm glad I was there. And it could
Um,
be a couple moments too. It could be like a collective of, memories or it doesn't have to be just one moment, but no, usually people have like one thing pops in mind there when my mind. Yeah.
um, Reuniting with my biological mom, when I was, I think, like a sophomore in high school.
Oh.
So the backstory behind that, my parents got divorced when I was young. I
Mm.
was 5 years old, and then we moved to Texas, and through a series of events, we abruptly picked up and moved to Georgia, and really didn't stay in touch with my mom. So I was left in the fourth grade.
Oh,
So basically, going from fourth grade all the way up to high school, my mother was absent in my life. And having relatives like my uncle and grandmother who made sure to remind me that I had this mom. And at some point, I was like, you know what? I need to get to know my mom again. And I made that connection, and we met each other in Georgia, and it was like very tearful experience. And yeah, that was a very memorable childhood experience.
I see.
I will say another one was being an athlete. I was a triathlete, basketball, football, track, and I remember having to work in order to live with a cousin of mine. And I was a full-time athlete. I was a National Honor Society, and then at night I worked as a not stock boy, but what's the individual called when you're at the grocery store and you pack out groceries? So I would pack everyone's groceries out and then roll it to their vehicles and unload it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think they would call them bag boys.
Yeah, the bad boys.
But
Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah, that's no longer a thing. Everyone's expected you go ahead and put your own groceries in your car now.
Right.
But that was memorable because it showed that I can manage many different competing priorities
Mhm.
and still be successful.
Right. And I can see that how now, like when I met you, yeah, like you were doing two things,
Yeah,
to manage that. And
yeah, I'm still doing many things.
is there something that you feel like there's a thrill about it, that you were able to do that, to manage different things, or do you have?
Yeah, I would say I've always had the hindsight that time is finite and you must maximize the time you have. So I'm not going to waste it sitting on the couch just binge watching TV all day or just wishing things to happen without willing it through hard work and effort. So yeah, it's always been part of my DNA. I think it's just you're born with that.
Yeah. And so when you say maximize your time, how do you see yourself like ideally maximize your time? Is there like a balance between life and business, or how do you see, or like how you balance the week? Like how do you say like maximizing? Um,
So, I mean, there's several inputs in when it comes to my life. First and foremost, it's my family,
mhm,
right? And then it's, the business, being a good life partner, father, husband, business partner, entrepreneur, still love and have passion for my hobbies, being with my friends. So you can imagine there's multiple different balls that you're balancing at all times. So what I've found in order to maximize those time and still make sure I put enough effort in all those areas, I time box. I
mhm.
make it very clear using a calendar. Um, thank God for Google Calendar. I can time box very easily and say, all right, for the next 2 hours, I'm working on this. When I pick Brooke up at, 4:30, it's me and her, and we're gonna go and do X, Y, and Z. Go get ice cream.
Wow,
Or hey, I got a date night 2 weeks from now, this Friday. Like,
that's awesome.
got to time box. And if you don't, if you're just kind of just floating in the universe, you don't know where you're going to end up, and you can over-index in one area, and then something else comes up short.
Yeah, awesome. That's great tips for sure.
Yeah.
You're basically creating your own, every single part of your area of life. You time box, and awesome. So excellent, very intentional. That's cool.
Oh yeah, you got to. I used to wing it before I got married and stuff and had kids. I winged everything in my life. In my professional life, yeah, I was very organized, but when it came to my personal life, I woke up when I woke up.
Mhm.
I, hung out with my friends when I wanted to hang out. And now it's different because everyone has a life and you got to plan ahead because you can't assume everyone's going to be free when you're free.
Yeah, right. Very cool. And how did you actually started the shower pouch brand? Like what, yeah, how did you begin saying, oh, I have this idea, and suddenly like from there to like fast forward to now, like
Yeah, I would say it's the merger of two ideas. One, it was addressing my father's challenges in the military.
Mm.
He was a naval officer, and he got out working for Department of Defense and did some contracting work. He was out in Afghanistan, and he had some challenges with managing hygiene or even dealing with people with really poor hygiene. He knew a lot of the men and women who would go outside the wire, and either being, whatever role they were in, there weren't access to showers all the time. So they would come back after being out behind the wire for a few days and come back smelling like,
Mm.
hot garbage. And he said, "Hey, is there anything you can make that's better than a baby wipe?" Because that's all they're using. And then for my business partner, Omar, who's a fantastic human being and individual, his mother was in hospice, and the only options they had at the time was these kind of large format, like spongy wipes that they would use in hospital settings, and it left his mom feeling very sticky. So it wasn't a pleasant experience. So we knew there was an opportunity to make something better,
I see.
and we put our two challenges in. We identified our challenges one time we were in Salt Lake City, and we were there for a work event, and we decided, all right, we both can address this together. Let's partner together and launch this product. And we were going back and forth trying to figure out names, and shower pouch was one that we landed on. We were able to get it trademarked, and kind of the rest was history.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. I love that product so much.
Oh,
You
thank
know?
you.
Yeah, and it's very useful for many, many, many application.
Yeah.
And actually, it was really doing well, right, during COVID.
Oh, too well. I'll be honest, like the projections that we saw during COVID, we were like, oh, we're gonna be multi-millionaires before you know it.
Yeah.
But COVID was a unique time. I think anyone that was in the outdoor space,
Mhm.
it was a unique time of like accelerated growth because people were locked in their home. The only thing they could do was go outdoors. Now people have access to, getting on planes and doing different things, going to the movies, socializing.
Yeah,
So there has been somewhat of a constriction in the outdoor space. That's evident with different retailers and
uh-huh.
who are now addressing it. So it was kind of a blimp, but a huge opportunity for us to get in front of more consumers, and at least they know who we are. We have roughly about a 40% plus repeat purchase rate, which speaks
Wow.
volumes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And managing the first moment of truth, the experience, seeing it, second moment of truth, which is experiencing the product, seeing it, experiencing it, ties you back into the third moment of truth, which is repeat purchase.
Yeah. And do you actually have like analytics on like where they're coming from? Like why they're purchasing more? Like is it like through like how do you acquire them to begin with? What's
How do
your
you acquire them, man? I'm gonna be honest, old school, word of mouth. That plays a big part. Social media
Mhm.
is a massive animal that I'm still trying to wrangle and figure out.
Yeah.
We just got onto TikTok Talk, haven't been successful with that yet, but we're figuring it out. I think the long story short for that one is you just gotta meet the consumer where they are and not assume they'll be at the same place they were a year ago,
Mhm.
right? So from our sales channels, in terms of revenue, we see a lot of people pivoting over to Amazon. It's definitely a trusted site.
Uh-huh.
Direct to consumer is still big, but the ability to get in front of more eyeballs on Amazon, I can't compete with. I got to spend a huge amount of money on ad spend to even probably become a quarter of what they can even do.
Gotcha. So
So
Amazon right now bringing a lot of that 40% repeat order?
I don't know that I can speak to that through .com.
Gotcha.
Through REI, I don't know. They don't give you that information.
Okay.
So
Good.
we've moved over from fulfill by merchant to fulfill by Amazon. So once you ship them your pallets of product,
Yeah.
they ship it out to the consumer. You'll get like a notification like, hey, your order went out to Susan.
Yeah, I've
And,
done that too.
and that's it.
That too. It's so cool, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's
You
cool.
didn't have to deal with your shipping. They just like ding, you may purchase and they ship it to you. I've had
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, believe it or not, your margins can be actually better, especially if you have a product that people want.
right.
Because you're charged by the number of clicks. Like if someone clicks on your product, a lot of people don't know it. Consumers have no clue. When things are free,
Mhm.
someone's paying for that, and it's usually the brands who are on the platform,
Right.
right? So when you click on our product, I am charged, making up like 35 cents per click. So you hope there's enough people clicking that eventually someone purchases. So your ad spend is less than your the sell of the product. So you're not
Ah,
upside down and in the red with each
gotcha.
sell.
Gotcha. Are you still
Uh,
doing ad spend right now?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely doing ad spend. So
Okay.
we target certain keywords. We do a lot of A/B testing. Um, yeah.
Okay. Cool.